Microsoft's been quietly dominating the gaming scene, and now we've got some numbers to back it up. We got some new data today that really kind of highlights how deeply ingrained Microsoft is in some of the gaming scenes and actually how they're dominating some markets just completely and holistically. And so we're going to kick things off here by an announcement that came out today. Microsoft actually announced that Minecraft, and that's going to be a key theme throughout this little episode here, now has RTX support available to everybody. Now, you're going to be saying, but Brad, it already had RTX support. And yes, you are absolutely right. But it was in beta and you had to do a patch to get it. And now it's just available to everybody. So a couple things to keep in mind here. Unless you have like a newer RTX card, you might want to potentially think about keeping it turned off. Like if you have like a trash 2080 Ti, yeah, I said it. Especially compared to like the new 3070, 30, whatever. If you're crying right now, I do apologize. If you have, what I'm trying to get at here is RTX is going to impact FPS performance, but it does look beautiful, as you can see. There's this video you're watching right now. It does look quite good, but if you're going to be doing anything competitive, you might want to turn it off just so you have a slightly better advantage with your maximum frames per second. If you're just going to go out and explore, turn it on, enjoy it, and there are 10 free maps that you can get in the Minecraft marketplace, and so you can go explore that ray tracing goodness. Now, some stats we got today relate to YouTube gaming, and this comes from the head of YouTube gaming, that Minecraft was the most watched content on YouTube gaming this year in 2020. Now, I know you're about to say 2020 is not over. I'm assuming that they did some extrapolation or they just do December to December, because what they told us is that actually the numbers from 2019 for Minecraft doubled. So it went from about 101 billion views to 201 billion views in a year. That is absolutely massive. Now you can obviously think about more people being stuck at home, so they're watching more content online, but the fact that it doubled means that Minecraft is far from being like on its downward trend. Like Microsoft has a massive, I don't even want to call it a sleeper hit, because they paid $2 billion, but they've continued to invest in the right capacity with Minecraft, and it is absolutely exploding with just the views and people watching this content. And I went over to Twitch because obviously YouTube is good, but Twitch is obviously probably the largest live streaming platform. While YouTube gaming isn't small, Twitch is, where a lot of people go. And it was the #1 recommended game stream, and that was from an incognito browser. So Twitch is obviously like, hey, we know that this is sort of a family, wholesome game that you can stream. Not a lot of swearing, not a lot of controversy. And it's like, go watch Minecraft. And so Twitch is obviously promoting it, but also on the back of Microsoft's napkin, they also have some other really big hits. Flight Sim is dominating, obviously, that genre just holistically and completely. Sea of Thieves, by the way, is continuing to perform fairly well. Not as well as actually, honestly, nothing performs as well as Minecraft. But it's still on the charts for Steam, for sales. And also, the Master Chief Collection very frequently continues to find itself in the top 10 of Steam paid sales. Like Microsoft, when you look at these titles all together, is just quietly amassing just a giant army of content that is performing consistently very, very well for the company. And so I think it gets glossed over the fact that, right, obviously Halo Infinite didn't get launched this year and they didn't have any major titles launching with the consoles. But on the other side, they completely owned YouTube gaming. And look at some of these stats here. Then they come right from YouTube. So YouTube had 201 billion views. Now, the next game, which is sort of a Minecraft ripoff, a little bit and a lot of it, was Roblox, but it only had 75 billion views. 75. That's significantly less. Then there was another one called Garena Free Fire. I had honestly never even heard of that. But then it goes to GTA 5 and Fortnite. So Minecraft completely obliterated GTA 5, Fortnite, and the second place. It's a massively watched piece of content, and it is probably, in my opinion, the best gaming acquisition that Microsoft has ever made and probably ever will make. Now, when you put some of this into context for what Phil Spencer talked about, what we talked about earlier in this channel, when he said acquisitions, we all know that they're buying Bethesda for around $7.5 billion. We'll see what the final figure is when everything closes, because some of it's based on whatever, around $7.5 billion. We know that is where Microsoft is making investments, but Phil Spencer said, hey, we're looking honestly at more like Minecraft style content. And it's not hard to see why. When Microsoft looks at these numbers and realizes how well this title is performing, it makes a lot of sense about why they want to go down this rabbit hole. Now, they're obviously not going to win every single time. You could very much argue that Sea of Thieves, which again isn't performing poorly, is in that same style of genre as Minecraft. It's that casual play. It's not, focused on high-end graphics, but more gameplay and artistic style. And it's adventurous. It follows very many of the footsteps that Minecraft set out. And Microsoft is going to be trying to snatch up more of these. I've been hearing that they're getting, I don't want to say more aggressive, but they're getting more focused on the types of games that they know are truly going to help them build up their portfolio. Phil Spencer has said many times that he's very envious of what Nintendo is able to do with much of their titles. And look at their games that are very popular. Even all the Mario games are not super high-end graphics. They're more focused on art style and gameplay and narrative. Well, not even narrative, but just like that fun aspect, like feel-good nature of playing. And they're not first-person heavy shooters with lots of blood, guts, and gore, but they continue to sell exceptionally well. And that is where Phil Spencer is pushing a lot of this stuff. Now, there's a couple other things that I just wanted to get off my chest real quick because we've got you here. So a couple weeks ago, I did my review, not a review of the Xbox Series X. And at the time, I honestly said, hey, I don't think now is the right time to buy the console. It's great if you haven't. It's a fantastic console and it's going to do wonderful things throughout its life cycle. But if you can't get your hands on ones, I don't think you're missing out. And so building on that narrative, we're getting more titles that are now optimized for the Xbox Series X. Destiny is now optimized, and meaning you're going to get that 4K high frame rate and the FOV field of view for those who aren't familiar, meaning you can pull back or expand how much you can see in your field of view. Pretty obvious statement there. That is now out. But the one more that's a bit disappointing is Cyberpunk 2077, which is coming out here very, very soon, depending on when you're watching this video, is not. You're actually playing the backwards compatible title on the next gen console, and it won't be until 2021 that you actually get that next generation experience of the game, which is why for me personally, I am waiting and will not be buying that title. Because again, I want to play it on the next gen console. I don't want to get just the upscaled version. And also, it has been every single review was extremely buggy. And they did some weird stuff where they said reviewers couldn't use the footage that they recorded. And they had to use pre-canned stuff, and it was sort of a messy situation. But very clearly, now we understand why the game was delayed so much. And honestly, it sounds like it probably could have even been delayed more. But they wanted to get it out before the holiday season. So Microsoft has a lot going for it right now. They're trying to cement the fact that they want to be the Netflix of gaming. I know some people make that comparison to Microsoft. We've heard rumors of them wanting to shy away. That's absolutely where they want to go, but they don't have. They need to get more Minecraft longevity style titles, because a lot of the things that have come out, right, they're flash in the pan is probably the wrong terminology, but they're good for 6 months to a year, and then people move on. Look at Call of Duty, for example. A lot of people go title to title to title, and so they don't stick around. Unlike Minecraft, where they've put out one title and they keep updating it year after year after year with just small updates or RTX enhancements, or less than year after year. And it's becoming very popular. Destiny follows a sort of similar model with these updates. And so it's going to be interesting to see how Microsoft approaches this. Coming off the back of them dominating YouTube gaming is a very interesting thought process, because it shows that Microsoft's investments in this area are starting to pay off. And that's a very big deal. It's a very big deal to show that, hey, we can buy content, we can nurture its life cycle and keep it positive, and not even in the limelight, but it owns the limelight at this point. I'm just really miffed at how well Minecraft content does, because when you look at the number of streamers versus the number of content watched, the streamer numbers are actually lower for Minecraft than I would have expected, but the content that comes out is so unique and different. It's not the same first-person action shooter every time. It's truly different play styles and different objectives, that it's just drawing in a ton of content. Mr. Beast Gaming has grown exponentially off the back of various Minecraft challenges, and I think that is absolutely helping. Although surprisingly, that channel was not one in the top gaming, but I see that stuff plastered all over my feeds, and a lot of it is Minecraft. Among Us obviously is in there too, but Minecraft continues to be near the top for his channel and many others. So interesting times in the gaming world, right? Microsoft gets shunned a lot for not having good titles or not having exclusives, but at the same time, when the doors shut and we look at the data for the year, they also dominated too.